YouTube. So I was asked to do a video just describing a little bit about me, and so I'm doing that. I realize I haven't said my name through any of these videos. I'm Amanda. Hi. I was born visually impaired, and we thought that I had toxoplasmosis. We later, this year, found out that that was not the case. I had basically CMV. And when I was born, I had considerably more vision than I have now. So I fully understand, the concern of people who have lost their sight later in their life, while kind of simultaneously understanding those people that have been visually impaired their whole life. Got both those bases covered. I was born with 20/200 in my left eye, and I can't remember what it was in my right eye. Through a series of infections, and most recently an infection and a detached retina. Now I can pretty much count fingers with my right eye, and I can see some colors and movement with my left eye. So if you have any questions about retina detachments or what it's like to go blind later in life, I'm actually going to leave the comments open to this video, so feel free to either email me or put the questions under the video, and I'll make another video or respond, whatever. So, I currently, I've only been back actually in America for a year. I lived in England where I studied psychology, and altogether, I want to say I was in England for about 5 years, not all at one chunk, but I kind of split my time between there. I did 2 master programs over there. So if you need any advice on applying to universities in the UK or getting your guide dog to the UK, I've been there. I've done that. I'm currently on my second dog. My first dog I worked for 8 years until she was 10, and then kept her as a pet. This dog I have had for about 2.5 years now. Both of my dogs were from the Seeing Eye in Morristown, New Jersey. There are other dog guide schools out there that are perfectly good. The Seeing Eye just fits my needs, my ethos, and my philosophy. So if you have any questions about adapting to life with a guide dog, or maybe you're trying to decide, is a guide dog right for you, feel free to reach out. As far as extracurricular activities, I do have a black belt in Shiryu Karate. I have a green belt in Isshin-ryu Karate, and I've done a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and I've done some Filipino stick fighting. So actually, with the detached retina, I was more upset about them recommending I never do martial arts again than I was the loss of vision, to be perfectly honest with you. But I've decided I'm just going to wear goggles and do martial arts anyway. So I am currently looking for a martial arts style and school that I want to go to. I'm located in the Houston, Texas area. If anyone has any suggestions, totally open. I'd like to keep it with Okinawan karate styles, but I'm totally willing to venture out of my comfort zone and do something new. What else? Oh, gardening. I'm recently into gardening, and I am hoping to do a master gardening program this summer. We'll see if that actually happens or not, but it very well might. I lived in Indiana for about 15 years, so I got very, very used to cane and dog guide travel in the snow. So if anyone needs any suggestions on that, I might have some tips for you. You might have tried everything, but let me know. And I guess that's really all that's interesting about me. Oh, I do currently live with my boyfriend. We've been together for almost a year. Yay. I know. Go me. But no, so if you have questions about dating while blind, or anything like that, totally open to any of those questions, because I know that can be bit tricky. Granted, I can only tell you from like a female's perspective about it. I might see if I can find some blind guys who can answer questions for any of the guys out there, because I know that I'm sure some of you have some. Yeah, it's pretty much. Oh, I did run a small animal rescue specializing in domestic rats for years while I was in England. So if you do happen to have any pet rats and you do happen to need any advice, I got you covered. In the future, I'm hoping to have chickens, goats. I'm hoping to have my small animal rescue back. And I'm hoping to have more room to garden and to compost. So all of that information, my goal is to document on YouTube. And kind of my whole point of starting this channel was mainly for two different types of groups. The first group is for parents and family members of blind people, because I know that there's a lot of fear out there and a lot of uncertainty, and sometimes all they need is somebody who is actually blind and who has actually experienced what it's like to tell them it's going to be okay. Hey, I'm a productive member of society. Your kid can be too. I've traveled abroad independently. I've done X, Y, and Z. There's no reason your kid or your cousin or whoever can't live, a normal, fulfilling life. And the other group of people is people who maybe went blind later in life, especially our older generation. Sadly, going blind leads to isolation and depression in a lot of people. And I used to read people's questions on Facebook groups who went blind, and they'd say, I'm blind, what can I do now? What hobbies are there for me now? What careers are there for me now? And I used to get mad. I used to say, what do you mean what hobbies are there for you? What do you want to do? What a stupid question. Well, then I got my head out of my ass, and I realized that people are asking because they don't know. They're scared. Maybe they've never met another blind person, or the only other blind person they met was their great aunt Doris, who was 93. And they just don't know. So that's why a lot of my videos have featured such basic things like the National Library Service. I have a video coming out about that. Well, people that have been blind for a while, especially who are blind as kids or who have received specialized training as adults, chances are you know about the NLS, you know about BARD, but I want to make sure that those people who don't know about it know about different programs that there are to help them out and what they can do to continue reading, or to, I talked about the Hadley program to learn Braille. So if anybody has, any programs that they want me to talk about, or that they know about, or maybe you have a YouTube channel and you've talked about a program, let me know. I'm more than happy to add it to my playlist. Also, if there are any blind or visually impaired people out there who are doing hobbies and who have videos of them doing their hobbies, explaining their hobbies, feel free to let me know if I can include it onto a playlist. I also want to show people that, especially those people who are blind, going blind, whatever, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever hobby you want to do. Some of it might take some adaptation. For karate, for example, my sensei and the other instructors would often put my hands in the correct formation, or they would describe it in a bit more detail. When we did kata, they would put me on point quite often so that I was the one leading the kata. Now, as I grew, I learned kind of everybody's style, everybody's speed, and I just naturally was able to follow along, and it was no big deal. But starting out, there were definitely some hiccups that we needed to work out. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment, or you can email me at blynddE1 at gmail.com. And thanks for watching.